All right, ladies and gentlemen, guys, we'd like to welcome you to the show. This is your host of the evening, DJJustJayOK. I'm here to tell you guys about another funeral horror story. Apparently, that is our new theme here at the So Do You Dig this month. Why? Because we've done about, 5-6 stories and keep doing updates, and I still have a inbox full of messages about different funeral homes. Guys, this is no joke, and it's definitely not a laughing matter at all. But I wanted to just basically do this story to bring some light as to what's actually going on in our world. And I want to just caution people to make sure that you do your due diligence when you're dealing with these funeral homes. Make sure you follow up. Make sure you know what you're getting with your money. With anything that you do, make sure that you have a contract, a clear understanding as to what's supposed to happen from point A to point D. Everybody kind of understand where I'm coming from with that? That's the reason why I'm doing these stories. They have everything to do with the narrative that we talk about, because as in we live, we have life, we also have death. So it's something inevitably that we'll all have to deal with. We advocate for children first, but we advocate for families. And one thing that I don't like about these stories that are going on is the fact that what's happening is that families already have death to deal with. It's already difficult to deal with that. Then on top of that, now you're having these disgracing, disparaging situations that are happening to these families, which is like having like a really, really ugly, huge scar on your body and somebody just coming in and just ripping that scab off of you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the pain is just absolutely unreal. Let me give a shout out to Chassie, Brielle, Ree, Danny, what's up, Danny, Jamel, Cherie, baby, what's going on? Everybody else that I missed, I want to give a shout out to you guys also. I know y'all just getting here. So do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. It'll share the show and let other people know that we're live. So if you would, scroll down and see if you guys have hit the thumbs up. If you haven't, go ahead and do that, and we'll go ahead and get this thing started. So let's get it. Now, in Camden, New Jersey, this is what happened. A Williamstown woman has sued a funeral home here, saying she lost the opportunity for a final goodbye with her late brother due to a delay in embalming him. Her name is Ashkia Pratt Williams, and her name is spelled A-S-H-K-E-Y-A. That's her first name. Pratt Williams, of course, is spelled traditionally. Filed a lawsuit Wednesday against Carl Miller Funeral Home in Camden, New Jersey, which previously was the target of an emotional Facebook Live video over the same incident. And I do have that video directly from her, and I'm going to give her a shout out and let her know that our love and prayers are with her. I also sent her a message, and hopefully she'll get back to me, and we'll kind of go from there. Now, the video made by one of Pratt Williams' relatives went viral with more than 116,000 views and 4,200 shares. So this is kind of a big deal. Now, in the lawsuit, Pratt Williams contends the body of her brother, who was age 44 years old at the time of his death, and that's him right there on my screen, and his name is John Ross Pratt of Camden, was left to decompose in a garage at a funeral home. Did everybody catch that? This is something that we've talked about all week. Is it not about the improper storage of people's bodies, which is a large responsibility, which is what these funeral homes are supposed to specialize in? Let me say that again. Let's say it again. In the lawsuit, they contend that her brother, 44-year-old John Ross Pratt of Camden, was left to decompose in a garage at a funeral home. If you guys are familiar with mortuary science or these funeral homes or anything like that, that is specifically what they're supposed to know to not do, because of the potential that this thing can happen. It can ruin a body, it can ruin a funeral, it could ruin your reputation, it could ruin a family, just put a bad taste in your mouth, especially because of the fact that death is inevitable. We all are going to have to see a funeral home at some time. We're all going to have to deal with somebody at some time. And one thing that you do not want to do is you don't want to run off potential business, because it is a business. And number two, you don't want the state all up in your business either when it comes to, potentially finding violations and things like this. But apparently they're going to have to do their due diligence. So shout out to Lara. Apparently they're going to have to go across the country and check out these funeral homes. They're going to start having more lawsuits coming because we've got a ton of them that we've just done just from the few stories we've done in the past, week? Maybe 2 weeks? Tanisha Finley is in the building. That is my sister. Morning Soto is in this thing. I got to give her a special shout out. Always, my sister. Thank you very much. Let's keep going, guys. Now, funeral home representative declined to comment Wednesday, saying the business had not yet received the lawsuit. That's their right to do so. I think it's smart to, it's your legal right. Let's say that. What's up, Nita Cherie and Brielle? It is your legal right and your legal responsibility to know your rights that you don't have to speak until you've spoken with a lawyer. I get that. No issue with that there. All right. Now, according to the lawsuit, family members authorizing embalming of the remains when they arranged services through the funeral home on September 17th, the same day Pratt died from natural causes. So they were on it. They were active. So shout out and salute to the family for that. They made arrangements the same day that he died. The suit asserts family members met with a Carl Miller employee for about 2 hours on September 19th when Pratt Williams asked to see her brother's body in 2 days. It says Pratt Williams was told no one was available to handle her request and that she was asked to return the next day. On the following morning, the suit alleges the funeral home's manager, Pamela Miller Dabney, contacted Pratt Williams and this is the kicker, guys. Are you ready? We got about 128 people watching. Hit the thumbs up, please. They wanted to advise her that there was a problem, quote unquote. They wanted to advise Pratt Williams that there was a problem with her brother's body. What's up, Caramel Cutie and Amari Jenkins? What's up, guys? Okay. It absolutely is ridiculous. They made plans the same day. I don't get that. It's not like a lot of time passed. The family didn't get with them and let them know what they were trying to do. They did it the same freaking day. How does this even happen? That lets me know that the funeral home dropped the ball or dropped the proverbial casket on this. How about that? How about that for a colloquialism? They dropped the proverbial casket on this family, and that's wrong. Let's keep going. Pratt Williams was told her brother's body, which had not been refrigerated, was decomposing and had an odor. That's what happens in decomposition, according to the lawsuit. It claims Dabney, who is one of the defendants, recommending cremating the body and holding a closed casket ceremony since no one would know if anything was inside. Jesus Christ, man. The family did hold a closed casket service on September 29th after moving the body to a Williamstown funeral home. So they got it up out of their possession from what I understand. Did they drop the casket? Apparently they did, man. They dropped the body, they dropped the casket, they dropped the ball. They did. This is egregious. They gave them plenty of time. They contacted them the same day. There's no way a funeral home can mess that up when you contact them the same day. And the messed up part is, what you guys might not know, is that this family right here on my screen has been dealing with this funeral home. Like, I think her mother was buried by this funeral home. Her family members were buried by this funeral home. So this is like a thing where this is their go-to place because they've been dealing with all their family members. And from what we know, they haven't had any issues besides this one. Okay? Now, it also seeks treble damages. The suit seeks unspecified damages for negligence and breach of contract, which it sounds like that's the case, claiming Pratt's family was denied its right to part with its loved one in a respectful, loving manner. And if that's the case, yes, Amari, yes, I am very serious, man. This is crazy. It also seeks, and I said proverbial when I said drop a dead dude. I didn't mean literally. I didn't mean literally drop him. I'm just talking about drop the responsibility of the person, of the body. That's what I was talking about. So don't think that I'm talking about they dropped the body. That part, I don't even think they would have gave a crap. Like Temple and Sons and OKC, I don't know that Temple and Sons have had any issues. I'm cool with Temple and Sons. Are you telling me something that I don't know, Crystal 45? Have they had some issues? If they have, I haven't heard that. So when I'm talking about dropping the casket, when I was saying that, I was talking about not for real, but I'm talking about as far as the responsibility, dropping the responsibility. Mac Malone said, homies in Cali get shot, drop him off dead or alive at the hospital. Man, that's crazy, bro. And Mac Malone, you say that's in Cali. You know what's crazy is that I'm very familiar with the gang culture in Cali, and I still don't think that Cali has Chicago beat. I just did a story last night. What's up, Larry? I just did a story last night about a group of people that were going to a person's funeral that died because of the stupid ass gun violence going on out there. And then they turn around and got shot going to a funeral of somebody that got shot. Now, how stupid is that? Guys, I didn't actually mean drop the casket. Lord have mercy. I was joking. Not joking, but I meant like not in a literal sense of dropping. I'm just talking about drop the responsibility. That's what I meant. And even if they did actually drop the casket, I don't even think that'd be as bad as letting the body decompose, if you guys understand what I'm saying. Because that ruins it all the way around. You're not going to hurt a dead body dropping it, right? But you are going to hurt it if you don't refrigerate it, if you don't embalm it properly, and if you leave it in a storage garage. You see what I'm saying? We got a couple people that sent donations through. This one comes from my guy, Christoph405, who's in the chat. I want to say thank you to him. I'm going to read these real quick before I finish the story and show you guys these videos real quick. Just dropping by, my brother Christoph405. Anything that you're saying, bro, is greatly appreciated, man, because I definitely put it to good use, brother. This is from Cherie Baby. Much love. She's in the chat. Thank you very much. This one comes from, I want to say the name. Thank you for informing us about these funeral home fiascos. Best regards. Alana Moss in the chat. Thank you for leaving your chat name. If you guys send anything through to the PayPal, if you would, leave your chat name so that way I can call you out right away. Thank you very much. Let's keep going. Among other claims, it also seeks treble damages for alleged violations of the state's Consumer Fraud Act. I don't even know what the hell that is. Let me see if I can look that up. I don't even know what consumer fraud is. I know what it is, but I don't know what it is with regard to funeral homes. There we go. I got New Jersey. Let's go. Hopefully there's a short depiction of this. Let me see if I can figure it out. It is not. It is long as hell. We'll look that up some other time. We'll put a pin in that part of the story. We'll come back to it. Among other claims, the suit says Carl Miller employees surreptitiously, don't ask me how I'm able to pronounce this big ass word. I just saw it. I knew what it was. They surreptitiously avoided allowing Pratt Williams a quiet viewing of her brother lying and making excuses because they knew of the harm they had caused. They did this within 48 hours. She couldn't even see her brother within 48 hours. I think that's horrible, man. In addition, it contends the funeral home knowingly misrepresented that they were waiting for authorization to embalm the body because she took care of that the very first day. Defendants also include Gloria Hunt Miller, the funeral home's owner, and 5 people identified as directors at the business. The suit was filed in Superior Court, Camden, by Voorhees attorney Conrad Benedito. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and show you guys her live video. Before we do that, even though we are good to use it, but I want to make sure and give you guys the fair usage before we go ahead and start the video. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. What's up, U.S. Navy retired 2011? What's going on? And LaShondra said, that's sad. It is. What's up, Miss June Bennett? More bodies coming up, more funeral homes. Yes, man, it's crazy. Mac Malone said that was my case back in 2015. We had a funeral. We were in enemy territory. Enemies came, popped, and we popped back. But a homie got shot. Bullet came. Oh wow. Oh wow. Ooh, damn, bro. Damn. Wow. Linda Soto said surreptitious means kept secret, especially because it would not be approved of. Wow. Okay. Thank you very much. What's up, your son, David? And to everybody else that's watching the show, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. It'll share the show and let other people know that we're live. What I need to know is I see 146 people watching. How many thumbs up do we have? If my moderators will let me know how many thumbs up are there, that would help me out quite a bit. So Mac Malone, brother, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, I know that, you know, look, man, I'm not crazy, bro. I'm really not. I know that whenever you grow up in that life, it's hard to get away from. You know, I know about it kind of from a personal experience, and I know it because I grew up around it. I get it. I totally understand. But, you know, I'm definitely sorry to hear that when it comes to funerals, I mean, in my opinion, there should just be some things in life that are just, we should just respect no matter what. And I think funerals is one of those things. We should be over 100 thumbs up. Come on, guys. Can we please at least get 100 thumbs up? It's only a couple people that donate every show. All I ask for people to do is donate a click of a button. And they won't even do that sometimes. That's it. That's all I ask. Please, just hit the thumbs up. There's no reason why we shouldn't be over 100. We started with a bunch of people here before the show even started. Please, please, please. Here we go. Here's the video.
A Gloucester County woman is suing a funeral home in Camden. She says they let her brother's body decompose before the funeral was set to happen. Eyewitness News New Jersey reporter Cleve Bryan has this story.
He said, Penny, your brother has died.
A phone call seared into Ashkia Pratt Williams' mind. Her brother John Pratt, who suffered from diabetes, had passed away. But it was the next call that's caused her great regret, to the Carl Miller Funeral Home in Camden.
Carl Miller buried everybody in my family, including my parents, my mom and my dad's side. So that's who I called.
Pratt Williams says her instructions on the day of her brother's death, September 17th, were clear. She wanted her brother's body embalmed for an open casket funeral to take place 12 days later.
Again, they let them know from day one, the day that he died, the first day.
We want to be able to say goodbye to family.
Pratt Williams says several days after her brother died, the funeral home told her that there was a problem and that he would not be able to have an open casket funeral as the family wanted.
His body started to decompose.
According to a lawsuit filed this week in Camden County Superior Court, the funeral home left John Pratt's body inadequately embalmed and unrefrigerated in a garage for several days.
The body was smelling and really bloated.
Another funeral home took Pratt's body and cremated him. Family was not able to give him the send-off they wanted.
He was my only brother, my blood, and my parents are gone. So that's what hurts.
Her only brother and her parents are gone. That's her direct family, guys. That's gotta be hard. That's gotta be a hard thing to go through, for them to mess this up like that.
And I get into these moments when I start thinking, like, why did I pick them?
A spokesperson for Carl Miller Funeral Home said that the company would not comment on the lawsuit, which they hadn't received as of Thursday. But he did defend the reputation of the funeral home, which has been in Camden for generations.
Our integrity and our long-standing speaks for itself.
Do you find these allegations shocking?
Absolutely.
Pratt Williams and her family are suing for negligence, fraud, and emotional distress.
I don't ever want anyone to feel what I feel.
Cleve Bryan, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
I mean, just imagine somebody that you've grew up with your entire life. You know what I'm saying? You might have, you know, if you lived like I did, you know, with brothers and sisters, you know, you had to share rooms. You know, you were constantly around each other. You got on each other's nerves. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of, you know, sharing meals and having to share chores and just, you know, living life and learning school and learning people, and you're around these people, whether you want to be around them or whether you don't. And some people have more positive stories, you know. There's some people that have some positive and some negative. You can laugh, you can cry. But these are people, at the end of the day, you only get one set of family. You can't do that again. When your mother and your father have passed on, you can't do that again. You know what I'm saying? So I get what she's saying. And I hate to hear this. I really do. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the actual video that went viral. I wanted you guys to see this, and I want you guys to tell me what y'all think about her plea for justice. Listen to this.
People, I'm currently standing. And I know there's a live video, so nobody's on right now, but this will be shared and shared again.
Let me say thank you to my guy Jamel White in the chat who sent some love through by way of the donation, brother. Always, Jamel, thank you, man. Appreciate that.
I'm currently standing in front of Carl Miller in Camden, New Jersey. And let me give you, let me just give you a little rundown on what they put my cousin through. Please show Penny right now. Monday, unfortunately, Penny's brother, my cousin, John Pratt, passed away unexpectedly. Penny called and entrusted Carl Miller with my cousin's final everything. Let me tell you what Carl Miller has taken from our family.
Thank you. Tracy said it's a legitimate reason for suing. It absolutely is. But I don't know if you guys feel where I'm coming from with this, because we talked about this yesterday when I was on the phone, when I took phone calls with Miss Parker Lynn, and my personal opinion was that I said that they should only sue for what they paid. I don't think if you paid $10,000, you should be able to sue and win $1 million. I just think that's weird, personally. But I do think that they should be awarded definitely some type of damages, emotional distress, and definitely the money that they paid back for sure. Let's keep going.
Monday, they picked John up.
The same day.
From his house, where he passed away from a heart attack, okay? They brought him here, to this location, right here.
The same day.
They spoke to Penny. Penny said to embalm. They asked if she wanted to be embalmed because of religious beliefs. You can't just embalm in a body. We understand that. Penny gave clarity to a Tamika, to a Pam, from Carl Miller, to embalm John. Carl Miller didn't do their job. Carl Miller Funeral Home dropped the ball with my cousin.
And you notice she used the term that I just used. I hadn't watched this video all the way through. When I said drop the casket, drop the ball, you know, kind of like a personification type thing, or just a comparison to say that they dropped the responsibility. Confused. He died of diabetes. Yes, he died of natural causes. Yes. So to answer your question, if that was missed, he did die of natural causes. And I'm going to tell you something. I see what Super T wrote. What's up, DGEPB? He donated yesterday and donate all the time. I want to say thank you, brother. Always. Thank you very much. Check this out. The reason why I love what Super T posted is because if you guys think about this, one thing that we neglect to do in the black community, which is undeniable, we have statistics and facts to back this up, is the fact that we do not take care of our health. Can we agree to that? We are bad with taking care of the things that go into our body, and the way that we exercise, and the way that we drink fluids into our body. We are very irresponsible about going to the doctor, getting things checked out. We're irresponsible when it comes to having insurance. You know, we're irresponsible for a lot of different things. And these are just things that I'm not trying to say anything about this family, but what I'm saying is in general, these are some things that we neglect, which get us to a point to where we start having health issues. I'm telling you guys that because I have a family member that's close to me. I'm not going to specify who, that had diabetes. I've had to watch them go through kidney transplants and take dozens of pills per day just to live a normal life. All behind having bad eating habits, exercise habits, living habits, not getting enough sleep. Believe it or not, sleep deprivation is actually a huge cause of people having health issues. Just think about that. I don't have any heart-related disease, and obesity is the #1 killer in the black community. It is. It absolutely is. Something to think about, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just in deep thought right now. Sorry. Let's keep going. She said he had a heart attack. No, he did not have a heart attack. He died from what they said was natural causes. They died from diabetes, but diabetes will cause health complications. So whatever happened, I'm not saying it wasn't a heart attack or anything like that, but it was the prevailing cause was diabetes from what I understand.
Wednesday, Penny and myself and our other cousins sat here with Rashida. Give me that paper. Where's that yellow folder? Give me everything. Give me everything. We sat with Rashida that gave us this cheaply folder, okay? Making a list of what has to be paid for family cars, $350 each, programs, $3 each. You know, how much money this, how much money that, okay? Failed to realize that she wasn't telling us some pertinent information. They didn't embalm John, and he'd been here since Monday. We're talking Wednesday now. Never said anything. Thursday, when my cousin Richie Clark calls to find out sizes for John, they say there's a problem. What do you mean there's a problem, Carl Miller Funeral Home, Camden, New Jersey? What do you mean there's a problem? We are waiting for authorization for the family to give authorization to embalm the body. But you know what? You failed to realize you already had Penny's authorization
the same day. And somebody asked how old he was. He was 44, if I'm not mistaken. 44 years old. And that's young, man. I'm right around the corner from that. Tommy's right around the corner from that. A lot of us that you guys are familiar with and y'all chat with all the time in the chat, we are all close to that age, man. It just makes you, it should be more evident how short life is, man. Let's keep going.
To embalm him. You failed to realize you were already given that information Monday and then again on Tuesday.
And Wednesday we sitting in front of them and they don't even say anything.
Wednesday we sat in front of Rashida for 2 hours. 2 hours. And you know what she did? She never once mentioned that my cousin was not embalmed. Not once. Not once did she mention that. They want to play, let's pass the buck. I don't know who dropped the ball. I don't know whose fault this is. I don't know. Well, we were waiting for this.
Hey, guys, we don't need to block over here. Please don't block. We are good over here. Please unblock for me. Please, guys. We gotta have some civil dialogue, if we could, please. If you would, please undo the block. We don't need to time out. We don't need to block. All we're doing is just having a conversation, guys. Remember what I want to teach you guys here. What we do here is we're trying to teach about, you know, how we can have some differences of opinion and to be able to put forth facts, truth, and logic. Hi, Heather. How are you? Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. We don't need to block. We don't need to time out. Now I'll tell you why. Look, guys, what we're talking about, and I'll tell you this, Cherie and everybody else, I'll tell you guys this. This is a very difficult thing to talk about. You know, whether we want to put forth facts, whether we want to put forth our feelings, or whether we want to put forth, you know, some levity from time to time, which I do think is necessary. You got to remember this. We got to have a little bit of mixture of emotions here if everybody understands where I'm coming from. The reason for that is because we don't want to just have a one-track mind. We want everybody to be able to think how they think and feel how they feel and respond how they respond. But if somebody says something that's factually inaccurate, then that's what we want to adjust. We have a horrible track record for the diseases and health issues that are going on in the Black community. Why? Just because I know it sounds bad to say, you know, fat is bad, but fat is not a good thing when we are dying from it. It's a bad thing. You know? It's a bad thing when we're losing our parents, when we're losing our loved ones to something as simple as, we're not saying you can't have a steak. We're not saying you can't have some bacon from time to time. We're not saying that you can't enjoy some of the, the special things and special foods in life, but everything has to be done in moderation. Everything has to be done in moderation. And what we got to do better at is we have to understand the things that will help us and the things that will harm us. And I'm going to tell you guys this. This is how I always bring this right back around to the topic. Here we go. Listen to me on this. We always talk about these things. What's going on, Kamal? We always talk about these things. But commonly, we think that this is okay, this is not okay. One of those key factors is the fact that we tend to talk about how children need mentors. Children, need to get, disciplined better at home. Children need to, have better teachers or whatever the case is, be given more homework. They need to have more security or they need to have safer routes to school. I keep telling you guys this. The foundation to fixing the family problems in our communities and all of our communities starts at home. Bring fathers into the home and it fixes so much of this stuff. When we have the balance, if you're not planning on having that father in the home and living with you, I suggest not procreating with that person. This has always been my prevailing message because people are like, well, why are these kids out killing each other and this and that? I'm telling you guys why. It's because we don't see any value in ourselves. I think that in the Black community, we've always had bad eating habits. We can always do better with that. Matter of fact, I actually got a video that I'm going to show you. It's unrelated, but it's definitely about the fact of we're talking about health right now, because that's a reason why that this young man died was because of natural causes from health complications from diabetes. All of these things spawn for a reason, because we have to take our health more serious, and we cannot speak and say that, we can't say things like BBW. I'm sorry, we can't. Big is not beautiful. Beautiful is beautiful. Can we agree to that? I'm going to say that slowly for my people, and I hope that you guys understand where I'm coming from. BBW is not beautiful. Beautiful is beautiful. Anybody of any size can be beautiful. Beautiful is beautiful. But just because you're big don't mean that you're beautiful. What that does now is that puts it in the heads of people and think, well, as long as I'm big, it's all good. If I don't feel good about myself, all I got to do is eat. All I got to do is get big. And I know I'm going to get some love. And that's a horrible ass narrative, especially for a community of people that are genetically prone to having these health issues. Why do you think every time you guys go to the eye doctor, or you guys go to the dentist, or you guys go for a health check, they're always asking about your family members? Well, how was your father's health? Well, how was your mother's health? Is there any history of this or that in your family? Why do you guys think that they ask these things? Because they want to point out the fact that you are a risk factor for these things, because what they are saying, based on statistics, this person is probably going to end up with a disease. Because these people that are prone to having these health issues clearly are being taught to have bad habits. What did I factually say that was incorrect there? It's just something to think about. People say things like, fat shaming. That's a real statement. That's a real movement. What if they turn around and say, you're AIDS shaming, you're herpes shaming. So we're not going to shame people into saying these are things that you should not do. You shouldn't get big. You should be healthy. Focus on health. Not everybody is going to be the same size, but everybody can make a focus on being healthy. That we can agree to. But are we talking about the place wrongdoing or about people or diabetes? I'm confused. Okay, India, here's what we're talking about, sweetie. We're in a situation because this young man died at the age of 44 prematurely because he had diabetes. Diabetes usually spawns from either DNA, but more than likely it spawns from having bad health, bad habits bad eating habits, bad health habits. I have family members, multiple family members that have it. That's a fact. Okay? So how do we end up talking about health? How do we talk about funeral homes? Because all week long, we've been talking about these funeral homes that are doing these people dirty, that are not handling these bodies correctly, that are not certifying documents and things like that. And they're having to go through this. It is important to talk about it because of what he died from. So that particular talking about diet is pertinent. I like to say pertinent. It's pertinent to this story because that's what her family member died from. So what we're here to talk about is not only the funeral homes, but we also want to talk about prevention. So we want to talk about making sure that you get your paperwork in order. As you guys can see right there, she has the paperwork in her hand. They took the body the same day to the funeral home. They talked about the plans the same 48 hours about what was supposed to happen, and the funeral home dropped the responsibility. That's how all of this stuff ties together. So I might be talking about a lot of things, so I hope that I do not lose you guys on that. Let's keep going. Listen to her live video. Here we go.
Oh no, we did this. To add insult to injury? What does Pam tell Penny on the phone yesterday? My brother died.
Yep, my brother died. So
my brother died. So what that means, thank you, Pam. What did you just tell my cousin? What did you tell her? My brother died. Yours is less important than mine.
What was said? Dr. Pharma said, not true. You need to find out what type of diabetes the guy had. If he had the type I had, it has nothing to do with his diet. If he had type 2, then yes, his diet. We need to get the facts. Okay. You know what? I 100% agree with what he just said because there is a difference. But my overall point, you know what? I'm going to just roll with what you said. I love what you said. I absolutely love what you said. But I did reach out to the family, so I'm waiting for a response from them. You know, maybe they'd be willing to clarify, but they just straight up said diabetes, which is very general. I do get where you're coming from with that. Yep, I appreciate that. And I think this is my first time seeing you in my chat. And that's why I love it when we get such a diverse group of people coming here, man. I truly appreciate that. That is a great point. But I will say this. My overall message is just saying that a lot of our people end up dying from the type of diabetes that comes from bad dieting. I appreciate that. Thank you. I got you. I know college is expensive. I know. Trust me. I tried to go to private school and I had to go elsewhere. After a few semesters of that, I was like, nah, I'm good. I can't afford that private school, man, but I get it. I totally get it. But let's keep going, guys. Thank you for that point. I love that point. If you guys would, man, I don't want to discourage anybody from talking in the chat. You guys can talk it up, man. Tell me what you guys think. I want to see more people that are watching the show. Hit that thumbs up. Chat. Talk to us. Let me know what you guys think. Let's keep going.
So now, my cousin cannot see her brother for a last time. They have robbed her completely of her final goodbyes with her brother.
Crystal 405, I'm sure that's exactly what you majored in, sir. And I am not mad at you. I'm really not. Sorry, that was a little bit of levity. I get it. I like that, though. Let's keep going. Are we talking about health? The fact that they let him decompose, or an 11-year-old? Where's the 11-year-old stuff coming in at? I didn't get that. Oh, you get my point. Thank you, Divine. Who brought up an 11-year-old? I don't think we talked about that, but I will address what you said. We're talking about health because diabetes has to do with health. So apparently one you can control, one you cannot. One is hereditary and one is just poor eating habits. The fact that they let them decompose is just no excuse for that. Because what happens is a lot of times with these funeral homes, they want to say that, well, they didn't let us know this. They didn't let us know that. Those people came in the same day that he died, which is already hard as hell as it is. They came in and made plans the same day. How does this funeral home? So what do you guys think? The person we hit. Well, I'll tell you this. Don't hide anybody just because they're young in the chat. My daughter is 11 years old. Would y'all block my daughter from the chat? Does my daughter not need to watch the show? My daughter's mom loves for her to watch my show. I love for my daughter to watch my show. Yeah. Let them chop it up. Because the thing is I want you guys to understand is a lot of these deep conversations, Cherie, is the type of conversations that I have with my daughter. So look, there she is. There's Crystal. I don't feel so good. Crystal, I am coming to see you Saturday. Okay? How funny is that? I talked about my baby and she popped up in my chat. Matter of fact, if I know you can't stay up long, if you want to, you can call me after I get off the show, baby. Okay? But I'm sorry you're not feeling well. We gonna have to do something to fix that. We're gonna have to do something to fix that. We need to get you checked out. Yep. No, not being disrespectful. The thing is a lot of times when it comes to, because we have to be very sensitive when it comes to children. That's why I totally get why Cherie did it. I get it. But, and thank you to Amari for letting us know how old you are. But again, I want you guys to understand that the things that we talk about shouldn't necessarily be excluded to children. Think about it. Aren't these the things that children need to hear? Remember when we talk about raising good children, if you want good children, we need what? If you want good adults, we need good what? If you raise good children, you should get good adults. If you make a focus on raising good children and prep them with the proper mindset, then they should turn around and be good adults. I have 100% faith that my baby in the chat is going to end up being an excellent human being and an excellent adult. So we actually have 2 11-year-olds in the chat. Yes, children watch the news. Come on, man. Children watch. Good night, baby. Thank you for coming through and saying hi. I love you. Thank you very much. This is the message that children absolutely should hear. So think about the fact that Dr. Pharma pointed out a difference between heredity, like DNA, something you really can't control, and then one that you can control, pointing out the difference. Why can't an 11-year-old in 5th grade, 6th grade, 4th grade, whatever grade that they're in, why can't they know that information? Why can't they hear that information? What are we actually teaching our children at home? So I want you guys to understand the same. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate that. The same lessons, and everybody said good night, Crystal. Everybody said good night to you, sweetheart. Tell your mama I said hi. And tell your grandma I said hi also when you talk to her. But the lessons that I'm telling you guys on this show, everything that I talk about is everything that I talk to my 11-year-old about. Everything. When it comes to how I want her to take care of her health, the things that I want her to understand about life. I mean, if you guys think about it, these kids are learning shit real quick. Really, really quick. They are learning it from the internet, and there is no filter on it. Can we agree to that? Think about this. If a child creates a Facebook page, how much filter do they have on it? Do they have a Facebook for children? Do they have a Twitter for children? Do they have an Instagram or a Snapchat for children? There's no filter on this stuff. Matter of fact, Tommy did a story recently about the 12-year-old that's walking around pregnant, taking pictures and posting it to social media. If you guys haven't heard of that, by the way, check out Tommy's website. Check out that story, TommySotomayor.com. And also, you guys can make sure to check us out. We're going to be in Dallas with Tommy Sotomayor on November 4th. If you guys haven't already bought tickets, buy them on his website. We absolutely have to talk to our children. We have to have these big girl, big boy conversations. We have to. Our children are smart. I have never talked to my daughter like a little goo-goo baby. None of that. We never did no baby talk with my daughter. I talk to my daughter the same way that I am right now as when she was first born. The same way. We did no baby talk. We talked to my daughter like, I want you to understand. She eventually grew into understanding, and now we have amazing conversations. Amazing conversations. My daughter understands life. My daughter understands death. My daughter understands choice. My daughter understands consequence. I don't force my child to do anything. I want my daughter to be responsible for her choices. My father is going to give her all the tools and all the knowledge that she needs to be successful. So at the end of the day, she's going to be equipped with knowledge. And then at that point, when it comes time for her to make that fork in the road decision, it's going to be your choice. I can't live your life for you. You got to live your life. Anybody that thinks they can live their life for their kid, I think needs to reevaluate being a parent. I'll say that again. You cannot live your child's life for them. You cannot live your life through them. You can equip them with knowledge, and you can love them, and you can protect them. The best way to protect them is to be the best parent, to parentally guide them, to give them discipline, to give them structure, and to arm them with information, with truth, logic, and facts. Let's finish this thing out. Guys, I think we've had an amazing conversation, and we got 2 11-year-olds in the chat. I think that's amazing, man. That shows how diverse our audience is. I've got people that are probably old enough to be my grandfather in the chat, and then we've got people that are young enough to be my own kid, and I got my own kid in the chat. Very diverse conversations. This is stuff we can all absorb, of all cultures, no matter what city, state, county, country, where people at that watch this show from other countries. We've had people in here from all over the place. Let's finish this thing out. Let's keep going.
And people hear me and hear me clear. If you come to Carl Miller, you're being ripped off. Everything is about money. They don't care nothing. They care nothing about you. Okay? They care nothing about you. It's about money. Stop giving them your money. Period, point blank. There are too many other funeral homes out here. Too many other funeral homes that will do right by your loved one. Don't give them another dollar of your money.
And I want you guys to remember the fact that this family, not her necessarily, the one that you're looking at on the screen, because she's speaking for the family, but the family that she's speaking for that is directly related to the young man that died, their entire family has handled their services through Carl Miller Funeral Home. They thought that this was the right place to go, and logically it actually makes sense. This place has been time tested. They've done what they were supposed to do on a few other occasions, and here you are trusting that they're going to follow that same process, and they drop the ball on you. Let's finish up. Let's listen.
Mention the dirtiness, the roaches, and everything else that's in there. The dim lights, the leaky ceiling, the smell, the dirty rugs. This state is dirty. Yes.
City of Camden, you got to do better. You have to find another place. There's too many other funeral homes that you can go to. What they just did is completely wrong. The negligence of what they did. They know it's their fault. They know it's their fault. Yeah, move over this way, so they know it's their fault. In the 9th hour, we had to call Bell-Hennessy in Williamstown to come pick John up. They can't even salvage anything due to the negligence of this place right here. They can't do anything to... Do you understand that when your loved one goes on, that's a pivotal moment for you to be able to say goodbye? They robbed her of that. They robbed our entire family of being able to say goodbye to our loved one. Why? Because they lost a family member, and that was more important. They put their family before ours. They put their family before ours, before her brother.
Wow, man, wow. Wow. Wow.
That's called for?
Wow. Guys, that's powerful, man. That's powerful. And I can't lie. I want to say this last thing when it comes to addressing the kids. Cherie, I just thought about this. Think about how ironic this is that we had 2 11-year-olds watching our show and we could even have more. Think about this. There's a lot. Don't you guys think that there's a lot worse things that these children could be watching on YouTube right now? Listening to on YouTube right now? Engaging in on YouTube? Would you rather children go engage in something else on YouTube, or would you rather them be here with somebody that actually used to be a youth counselor that's giving them some quality, wholesome information? I was just thinking about that. This is probably the perfect place for kids to be right now, because they're listening to a father, they're listening to a counselor, they're listening to a mentor, and they're listening to somebody that actually cares and somebody that knows that they need somebody to protect them. Yeah. I was thinking about that. Yeah. So, I mean, but I think, so going forward, I'll be thinking about that. But yeah, man, prayer hands up for the children, man. We want to continue to be an advocate for children first here at the Soda You Dig. I like to think I'm a little bit cool here. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to be somebody that people can respect, somebody that people can look up to. And that, I just really want to make sure that as we grow up, I want to see this group of kids that's my daughter's age, 11 and going up. I want to see y'all turn into something amazing. Just know that there's a lot of things out there in the world that will try to come against you. Just know that we advocate for families. You fix the foundation, you fix the problem. In our community, we should have families, mother, father. Understand that it is important. Everybody is going to give you everything that they feel like is going to fix the world. We'll fix the world when we start putting children first, when we start loving children and protecting children and valuing children, empowering children, and start putting a focus on families. Thank you guys so much for listening, and shout out to, the family here. I hope that they reach out to us. I hope that if there's anything that they need us to do outside of exposing the story, we'd be more than happy to help. So I want to look in the camera and say, sister, thank you guys so much for sharing y'all story. And thank you for letting me delve into y'all life just a little bit and to be able to share your story. I know that you guys wanted this story shared, so we'll do at least our part to try to share this. And we have a playlist on our channel right now that is called Funeral Home Foolery. So you guys make sure to check out that. This is going to be added to that segment, because these funeral homes, they got to start being held accountable. And I hope that you guys are successful in your mission and what you guys are hoping to do. All right, let's go ahead and cut it right there.